towards the middle.
All right.
Anyways,
well, we'll
no
find
more
out.
guessing.
No more guessing. We're here to find out now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome
Yep.
to game number 3. The Chimps up against the Fat Penguins. Seed number 1 up against seed number 4. A high-octane series so far, going the distance, 1-1. We are down to the decider, spawning in on the northeast side of the map. We've got Beastyqt and DeMusliM playing as the Abbasid and Chinese, respectively. And on the other side of the map, that southwest side, we've got Neptune and LoueMT playing as the Chinese and the Abbasid, respectively, which means we have got 2 Abbasid versus Chinese matchups for you today, which excites me greatly. What direction do you think we're going to see the China players go? That's my main question, because I think from an Abbasid perspective, it's pretty streamlined. You're going to see a second town center quite early. You're probably going to see a stable and archery range before you see the second town center. Actually, on a map like this where you're further away, you're probably not. But what do you think we'll see from China?
So I feel like that's totally up to the players. I'm not going to try and guess. I think what's strongest is a Barbican in a good position. So maybe like and I don't mean forward. I just mean like forward enough maybe to cover the hunt, like we saw Shiki try in the 3v3. I think something along those lines. But is it weird to you that there's 4 relics on one side and 3 on the other? Not that this really will matter, but like my OCD just like slapped me in the face just there, like fix it.
I mean,
and I don't know how.
Apparently the rule is however many players there are plus 3 relics. So I don't know where you're going to put that 7th relic. I feel like, I mean, well, I guess technically I can hear what you're saying. Yeah, you could put it in the middle of the wood line and make it as like a little surprise for somebody later on in the game.
But almost all the maps on ranked, if there's an even split down the middle of the map, like for example Mongolian has this, it's actually an even number of relics. There's, I believe, 1 more, so it's 6 relics rather than 5 on every 1v1 map that's cut down the middle in some fair way, right? So Mongolian Heights and Mountain Pass, I believe, both have that. Maybe even French Pass. I'm not sure about French Pass, but there's a decent chunk of maps which have that split. Surprised. I mean, I guess this isn't an official map, right? So hard to say what the thinking was. Maybe it was, just don't really care about it. It's interesting diversity, right? Yeah. Because it's not like it's unfair for one player. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm focusing a lot on this, so we'll move on.
All right, well, let's take a look at the base of DeMusliM. We'll get an idea of what his build order is. I'm assuming he's opened up with a 6-3-3, which is the 6 villagers on food, 3 villagers on wood, and 3 villagers on gold, which of course he has. This is his standard opening, and it's been his standard opening for probably the last 12 months. He has not switched it up, and obviously it's been working well for him. One of the best players in the game, so he's very comfortable with this. But the only player to actually do this, if we go check in with Neptune, let's go have a little look at what he is doing, because I suspect it's going to be vastly different. We see only 1 villager on the landmark instead of that typical 3, but does have 3 villagers on the gold and gathering from a straggler at the moment, but everything looking pretty stock standard in the base. Nice positioning on this Imperial Academy as well. Picks up all 3 of the resources compared to DeMusliM's, which doesn't unfortunately pick it up because he does have the gold at the front of his base rather than at the side.
Yeah, compared to like a second TC, Song Dynasty like is really good, but like the difference of like 30 seconds doesn't make nearly as much of a difference. You're not like up a full vill and a half because you got Song 30 seconds faster in a mirror situation, so it's not like this really big deal that the build order has to be super precise. I think it's just a matter of get to Song in a reasonable amount of time, and we'll see both players doing that just fine, right?
Yeah. We will see players looking to click up to Song very shortly. We're riding on board at the moment with Neptune as he drops down his Barbican in the middle of the map. He's housed at the moment though, or at least about to be housed. He's sitting at 20 of 20. Currently, yeah, I suspect he'll
be okay.
You reckon he's going to be okay? He's forcing it.
He'll be okay.
He's not going to be okay. 1 second. 2, 3, 3 seconds of idle time. That is not Conqueror, baby.
Oh, interestingly, you don't get the on the UI. We're not getting the second landmark. That's what's so confusing. Yeah, you don't see the Barbican timing. So do we see it for DeMusliM yet? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, there it comes down now. So DeMusliM having the deer in the front. I guess both of their spawns quite similar when it comes to the deer. So both players opting for the front deer They've still got access to the side deer, so collecting both of the deer here, it's really going to delay their transitions over to farms. So, but look at what Beasty's doing over to the deer on the backside. Very, very cheeky.
Cheeky and annoying, but effective. Right? It's just one of those mechanics. Those little tricks exist in this game, and it's like, yeah, you don't have to use them to be a good player, but I think you need to abuse them to be a great player, right? And Beasty showing his at least his commitment to the cause with this kind of laming.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job with it. I reckon you just drop a granary down in the middle, and you just long distance it. It's all right. Get your wheelbarrow and get your survival techniques. You'll be fine.
Yeah, and that's something that's interesting about this map is I see someone in the chat just mentioned this as well. The rush distance is quite far. Like, so getting anything aggressive going early isn't really going to be the case, and I think that's why we see these teams saving probably two of the slow, I don't want to say slow, but two of the best like booming civs, right?
Yeah.
For this map, just because, yeah, well, we're going to boom. It's a mutual agreement. There's not a lot of shenanigans that can happen here. We saw last series on this map. Every series on this map has been pretty long, even though it's had long feudal ages for some matchups. It's a long game, right? It takes a while for things to mature, and that's where those second TCs can just be so effective.
All right. Well, a little bit of an interesting adaptation coming through from Neptune. We do see that he's dropped down an archery range before going for a second town center, and I'm starting to get shivers down my spine. Let's take a look over in Neptune's base, because he's gathering up stone. He's got a lot of villagers over here. I'm just thinking out loud right now, but do we potentially see the Stonewall Highway?
Do you think he watched a YouTube video and was like, this is what I'm going to bank my...
100%. 100%. Neptune is he's a big fan of the Stonewall Highway.
He watched your video and said, this is how we'll win.
Probably not. I think he's going
series.
for a second town center. He's almost got the wood for it now. So he'll be dropping that down any second. But you know, I like to think that maybe actually, was that Neptune that dropped down? Yeah, it was Neptune that dropped down the second TC. I think. Can we double check on the base of Neptune right now?
Yeah, there's a TC going up to the left of his core. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so a bit relieving there. So we've got 2 TC China, 2 TC for Beasty coming in here. Is Beasty working towards a third TC? Let's have a look. He's gathering up the stone, so indeed he is.
Yeah, you just go 3 here. I think every civ should.
Yep, agreed.
Maybe not China. Maybe China doesn't have to. But it's an option, honestly. Especially if you know Ambassador on 3 TC. Why shouldn't China just also do it and just do it better, right? So I think that's kind of what my logic would be in this case.
Are you talking about like China going 3 TC Song Dynasty? Oh,
why not?
You'll die. You'll
boom,
die.
Baby.
Nah,
just boom, baby.
You die, unfortunately. The reason why I know that is because I've tested it, and yeah, you will die. So the timing from the Abbasid is really, really potent in this matchup, and it's going to be so important for China to get up to the castle age as quickly as they can. So it depends what the build order is, but the normal time frame is going to be around the 10-minute mark. You can get it super quick. You can get like I think I can do like you can do an 8-minute 50 castle age timing with the 2 TC Song Dynasty, but obviously, when you're not in that closed-off environment, when you've got other external factors like Beasty pushing around your deer, it changes things up.
I'm not saying I was wrong, but no one's even trying to chop. And I was wrong, but I'm also disappointed about being wrong. I think that's more interesting, just saying. But we'll see how this goes.
We might have another town center coming in. Look at this. We've got 10 vills on stone. I don't know whose perspective we're watching. It's either Beasties or DeMuslims. I would imagine it's probably Beasties, right? Beastie, the kind of guy who goes for 12 town centers and it's still not enough.
4 TC, yeah.
There we go. So
it was on the wood line on the right.
Yeah, so there you go. And we do see the wood line is being expanded too. So definitely the best thing for him to do here is go for that additional town centers. Now, let's say, hypothetically, that this gets to Imperial Age. And you've got, solid Abbasid versus solid China. Who do you favor there? Do you prefer the China? Do you prefer the Abbasid?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I think in 1v1 here, I think I prefer China right now, just because it's been playing really well. It's been doing super strong, but as the Abbasid, like you're saying, their time like 4 TC, like I would be a little scared if I were Neptune right now. If I scouted that 4th TC going down, like I'm not doing anything aggressive, and Beasty's gonna be 120 vills in like 4 minutes, whatever it is, 6 minutes. That's scary.
You're not wrong. It is scary. And to be honest, as China, I feel like I don't know how to react to 4 town centers. Like I don't know what I should do. Like, should I take my own 3rd TC? Because if I do that, then you're just getting even more advantage as an Abbasid player, right? Like, because you're getting better value from fresh foodstuffs the more town centers you have. So if I'm allowing you to justify that and be rewarded from that, then yeah, it just doesn't feel right.
But you get more value per TC from Song as well. So it's like there's a bit of trade-off there, like faster versus cheaper. I think in a boom map like this, is cheaper really doing you much, right? Like, don't all these players have plenty of food? Rams!
Oh, baby. It's happening. I'm loving it. The 2 town center into an attack, and it's a beautiful attack as well. I love this playstyle. Can we take a look in the base of DeMusliM? I want to see, is he supervising everything? Yeah, he is. Look at this. Mass supervision coming through. He is pumping out units non-stop. There is plenty to be said about this strategy. I'm a big fan of this, and Louis is going to be on the back foot. Now, can we take a look and see how far is Louis to the 3rd age? Actually, we can already see. He's Culture Wing. It's coming through. So a single Mangonel is going to stop this. That's the good news for Louis.
A lot of men-at-arms looks like the play for him.
Yeah.
Could work. It should work.
Yeah, men-at-arms and a single Mangonel will shut this down. But
I think
Louis going fast imp here, potentially?
Yeah, like, I don't want to say overbooming, because he's going to spend all those runs on man-at-arms very, very quickly. But I honestly think even if you're DeMusliM, just killing this TC in 10 vills wouldn't be terrible for you here.
Yeah,
like,
it's not bad, right? Like 750
slow it
resources.
down, forcing a lot of units that you can counter easily with crossbows. Like, Abbasid don't really love going man-at-arms. Like, they don't hate it, but they have better unit comps. If you can get to like all the upgrades, it's good. This is really good for DeMusliM. This is a lot of value.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
go for it.
No, yeah, the men-at-arms gonna come in and slowly push him back, I think. But that's a lot of spearmen even. Without the melee armor upgrade, the spearmen kind of trade okay here.
Yeah, the spearmen don't do badly with these numbers. You can see the Chukanu slowly slicing through the men-at-arms. Now the town center going to get worked on, the 2nd town center, so you're not wrong. Like, when it comes to the openings here, sure, this might not be a killing blow. It might just be an attack that's looked to injure the enemy, but it's a deadly blow, right? Like, this is the infection that is going to be happening, and it will lead to the death of Louis.
I don't know if it's gonna kill him here. He's still got 2 more TCs. These are just his advanced TCs, you know, the forward ones. They do go down this time, not losing the 10 vills garrisoned inside. Vill count. I mean, did you expect the Vill count to be in favor of the... Oh, I guess, yeah, you do. Beasty's on like 100 Vills. Never mind. Never mind.
Well, not
I think
just
he's
that.
already on 120, right?
Not just that, but, I mean, Louis losing villagers from the town center, and he's losing the training of villagers from town centers as well. How many TCs is Louis on at the moment? Can we double check?
2 now. What?
It's 1 TC. He's on 1 TC. This is more than just the infection. Right now, Louis had his legs chopped off.
I think if Beastyqt can just hold his side, he wins.
Yeah.
They win, right? Like, this position is so good for DeMusliM. This push, like, that huge wall from Louis. Look how much he invested in. Like, look how long that wall is, and look how little he got from it. Like, he just instantly killed the wall, and it was nothing. It was just a road bump, a speed bump. Sorry.
It was a false sense of security.
For sure. I mean, I think he's going to clear this up now. Although DeMuslim's up to Castle Age. If a couple more crossbows come in here, and these upgrades come in, if you get the attack upgrade on the Jugnu, attack upgrade on the Spearman, that spear, this fight could look better. But I think he might have to retreat.
DeMusliM just wants to go kill the Vills right now. That's all he should be doing. Because that mango. Because he's not going to do any damage elsewhere. The men-at-arms won't die. The knights won't die. The mango's going to die, though.
Good positioning after eating a huge shot. Able to clear that up. the Zhuknu kind of paid for themselves now. You can rest easy with them dying. Wow, that's a lot of horsemen.
Yeah, huge amount of horsemen right there. But let's take a look at the villager counts at the moment. How many villagers do we have for Louis? If we ride on board with him, let's have a look and see. And then let's compare that. 71. Oh gosh, it's not pretty, is it? 71. Now let's compare that to Beasty. So 71 vills against
130, maybe?
Beasty on 110.
110.
So, yeah. Pretty decent amount. But we do have a forward keep coming in. He's going to try and put it next to the sacred side, but fortunately, there's so many units here. It's going to mean that the position is surrounded and now, alternatively, going to have to move elsewhere. Villagers being forced back. Crossbows also coming out for Beasty, adding them in. Palace Guard numbers looking pretty solid, holding their own against the horsemen. But the villagers getting chased back.
He's going to hold, but I don't think he's going to be able to reinforce this in the same way. I'm just guessing that Beasty has a much better eco setup at this point. 4 TC was a lot. That's a lot of eco growth.
Yeah, I think Neptune's going to be on a similar number of vills, though, right? I would suspect Neptune probably sitting on 110 vills right now as well. 16 minutes. China normally crosses the 100 vill threshold at 15 minutes. Yeah, 107 for him. So his economy has managed to keep up relatively well. Because the way that I sort of justified is that you hit Song Dynasty at 5 minutes. And your second TC comes up at 6 minutes, so you're already on 3 TCs from the 6th minute. So you've got this kind of head start on your enemy.
Yeah, Beasty and Demu looking to sync up, maybe look for a killing blow on one of the players. Maybe DeMuslim's feeling so confident in his position now. He's saying, my guy's dead. If I just come to your side and we win your side too, we could be in a really good spot. Maybe also setting up for trade. Don't want to be reliant on the big gold mines in the middle of the map too long.
But take a look at this. Good luck to them because they're going to have to play against an Imperial Age China.
Yeah, Spirit Way coming in. But Palace Guards don't really benefit from Spirit Way unless you mix in another melee unit. So like the Fire Lancer, you'd have to mix in order to give them the healing and the attack speed buff whenever a Dynasty unit dies, right? So usually we're going to want to see some sort of transition here. Otherwise, if you're not seeing a unit transition, why not just go Great Wall Gatehouse and try and lock down half the map?
Yeah, that could be good. They do benefit very well from those elite upgrades as well as their battle hardened upgrade, I think it's called. Always a nice one to pick up as China, but look at this. Great micromanagement coming in from Beasty, as you would expect, one of the world's best players. Focusing down villages on multiple fronts, wood lines over here on the east side. Same time over towards the west, a couple of villages going to be going down, but look at the push coming through from DeMusliM. He's looking to finish off his enemy. He went through before on round 1, knocked him out. The referee stepped in, pulled him aside, said, you're going to need to take a second to breathe, my friend. He took a second to breathe, and now DeMuslim's going to be looking to knock him out.
And now they're also really close to linking up, and we could see this coordination come in, and I think that's what we're going to try. I mean, maybe it's just for the idea of being able to, because I think both Beasty and DeMusliM are in a comfortable spot on their side, so I don't think they need to do anything drastic, like risk losing one side to 2v1 another. But it's good to have the option to be flexible.
Yeah. All right.
China's hard to push into.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, there's so much going for them. All right, double Mangonel out. Actually, could stall this out. Gonna force all the crossbows, all the Chukunu. But I guess he's got Palace Guards. Can look to do a run by, but the villagers are close here. Can always be looking for repair.
Where I would love to see Beasty just send like 20 horsemen this way, right? You have the economy, I think. Why not, right?
Oh, it's going to be so close. Look at him. He's pulling the villagers back. He's trying to get a little bit of a body block in. He'll find it. But at the same time, look at the body block coming in from the Vills, managing to do it. Gets a Mangonel shot, but it's a beautiful dodge from the ex-Terran player, DeMusliM.
Whoa.
Still the Mangonel.
Great micro.
Getting repaired up. He's focusing it down. Spearmen working together with the Palace Guards. Indeed do take out the first Mangonel. Second Mangonel going to be going down here. He gets a shot off at point blank. But with the Mangonels going down, the likelihood of Louis tapping out shortly is very high. As DeMusliM now reaches the Imperial Age. Both Chinese players now in the Imperial Age. This is looking troublesome right now for him.
Well, that's great micro from DeMusliM throughout the course of that fight. Really, really impressive stuff, showing why he's just a renowned player for his skills. That was really beautiful stuff. That was, chef's kiss, as they say. Coming back to the dead town center that he is He leveled earlier. Now he's here ready to finish the job, as they say. Did we see... No, not yet. I thought I saw something spicy, but no. Man. As long as Beasty's in an okay spot, this game's kind of over, right?
Yep, I think so. And Beasty is in an okay spot.
Yeah.
He's a little bit behind on score. That's never an issue. He's securing up the sacred site. He's got a keep on top of it. You know, had Neptune got down that keep on Beasty's side, it would have been a different story. Because you would have had trebuchets starting to siege down buildings in the base of Beasty. He wouldn't be able to challenge that position without getting his own trebs out. Then he's got to be thinking about the Springalds. Now you're playing China's game, right? But fortunately, the keep gets denied. It's forced away. And Beasty's able to survive and convert this into a really...
another nice raid.
Yeah, it's non-stop, isn't it? It's every day, bro.
Still a 50 eco advantage in a game where, like, basically every villager here is effectively equal. Like, there's no gimmicks with these civs, really, for, like, hidden resource generation. Like, I guess you have the officials, right? But that's not, like, by comparison to, like, pit mines or something on a lot. So that villager bar on the top is a very accurate picture of the civs and how their economy is looking. And that's a troubling bar to look at.
Yeah, well, more stone walls coming off, and look at this. We can see that both players are looking to stonewall in their sacred site, so expect any second for those countdowns to potentially begin. Sacred sites might get picked up sooner rather than later here.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, if they both start the timer, it's gonna be really tricky for them to stop, but I guess they could maybe 2v1 one side to stop it. I mean, we're seeing a massive layer of stone walls come across the middle here. Gonna be tricky.
Yeah. You can see Beasty almost finishing his off as well. Jeez, it's a big wall, isn't it? On the, you think like, oh, it's not that far, and then you actually build it, and you're like, God, how did this wall cost me 800 stone?
As I say, this is probably like 1,000 stone if you had to keep the gates in, right?
Yeah.
What a nice game here. Honestly, I'm really impressed with how DeMusliM handled this. That feudal age worked so well for them. I guess I'm saying it like it's over. It's not over yet. Both players have... They still have 240 eco units on their side of the map, so it's definitely not over. It just feels a little rip, if you ask me.
It definitely does, especially because you're playing against better players. You want to try and maintain an advantage. But I'd love to see the villager count for Louie at the moment, because Louie was the one who got hit hard early on in this game. And at the moment, we can see 177 pop. I suspect for Neptune, there's one... Oh, no, there we go. 110 vills at the moment. So, yeah. Louis sitting on 110 up, 134 for Neptune. So, a bit of an advantage there.
Yeah, brutal. And 2 bombards coming in as well. Not exactly sure what they're on about. Trying to maybe find a gap in the wall. Micro looking really weird there. The hand cannons, though, gonna defend the Chinese hand cannons. Yeah, with the extra range, could be so good.
And now we see...
That was a weird way of phrasing it.
No, but you're 100% on the money. But take a look at this. We got plenty of cavalry coming out right now. Villager's going to get pulled. He moves them in front, wanting to try and protect the bombard. It's going to be able to repair this one up as well. Trade Wing finally coming through for Louis, joining the rest of the world here in the Imperial Age. But it looks like both of the bombards do manage to stay alive. But all the palace guards have been shredded on the front line. Yeah, he had a lot of trouble there.
This is a big push coming out of Neptune. I mean, Beasty really needs to hold this. And I don't know when... I don't know what DeMusliM needs to do here to change the course of this game, because that was a clean wipe of Beasty's army.
Yep.
Beasty does not have a lot of military pop. They're down on the count on their side. Somehow, a Fat Penguin are starting to look good, but I think a lot of this comes from this massive investment in stone walls, maybe an investment in certain techs that we're not seeing pay off just yet. As that keep goes up for Neptune, things looking good for him. Yeah, and Louis has...
He's stabilized, right? Like, Louis not looking terrible here. The keeps have kind of kept him alive. And now, I mean, Neptune's got a very solid push coming in over on the west side of the map.
I kind of thought that DeMusliM was going to go for, like, a really devastating GG put, but he just kind of walled, and He's just kind of vibing right now, and I think he needs to look for more aggressive play as this keeps gonna go down. The Palace Guards are gonna keep shredding the front line here. Beastyqt not using Knights here, just using Horsemen, just fresh meat for these Palace Guards to wreck through. Just a front line though for the Camel Archers to try and do damage, but this actually is starting to look good. Oh, maybe some text just came in for Beastyqt because that fight looked very different from the previous one.
Yeah, I think Incendiary Arrow now in. It's going to be a lot different, but we do see a bit of a push coming through. Louis looking to defend. DeMusliM trying to break through, but at the same time on that north side, we see the Camels doing a decent job. Horsemen moving all the way back, looking to try and take out those big bombards before they can do any real damage, but once again, finding villagers on the woodline. It looks like we've finally got a chop through between these two Western players.
We're seeing it now as the Palace Guards swoop in again on the front line for Beastyqt. Beastyqt has to be careful. His numbers, does he have too many vills, you think? Like, I feel like he's only ever fielding like 20 units. Is this pop cap he's at? I'm curious to see.
Let's take a look. Beastyqt on 151 villagers, so you're 100% right. Too many villagers.
You're never at that army count. Like, he doesn't have a huge float though, because he's spamming horsemen into die, and this is a really tough trap to get out of, right? When you're in this spot, you feel stuck, right? He needs a way to get to more pop efficient units without losing. So he's gonna keep throwing horsemen into their death, meaning he's never going to build up a big massive units. Does catch those bombards though, buying him vital time. That's clutch, actually.
Yeah.
Killing this right now was so important for him.
And yeah,
although he did have the culvert.
Bit of a mistake there by Neptune, honestly, to have left them so unguarded. And I think that's the consequence of a lack of spears also. But we do see this push coming through from DeMusliM looking pretty solid. A big funnel of units coming into the base of Louis, but a notable absence of siege. Where are the bombards coming through for DeMusliM?
He's been shoring up the front pretty slowly, if I might say so. He's been playing it really slow, and I think that's fine, but I'd love to see a bit more oomph in this push. Like you're saying, some bombards, maybe some treps far back, just ping down some of these buildings, make things uncomfortable for Louis, who right now seems pretty comfortable just kind of holding, but maybe not for long, because DeMusliM has a large army. Yeah,
well, we can see beautiful peel off there by Neptune. The only problem is he's going to be killing villagers and actually helping Beastyqt out.
That Grenadiers?
No,
just the sound of the crack of guns. Yeah, I thought I heard like a wave of Grenadier shots landing in. Never mind. Anyway, this is a good punch from Demu.
Yeah, this is really good.
And an important one at that.
Because he's actually camping farms, right? And by camping farms, you're essentially camping production. Because restricting the flow of food means that there's not going to be many units coming through. But we can see the counterattack coming in over on that north side, though. And you just know that Neptune is telling Louis, just hold on. Hold on. I'm raiding him. I'm hitting him. I'm killing villagers everywhere. Look at the villager count. It's dwindling. But both of these players, both of these teams, rather, still maintaining pretty big economies. 200 for the Penguins, 281 for the Chimps. So big lead when it comes to the villager counts.
Yeah. And also you can see markets going up in the corners. If they can set up trade effectively before their counterparts, both teams are actually adding markets around the same time, even though we don't see it yet. And by the way, I remember now, that was the crack of Fire Lancers that an effective raiding unit, and look at all the vills dying. Yeah. What just happened there?
And good game gets called. LoueMT gonna snap and crap. Snap and crap, he's gonna tap out. Let's go with that one. But I'm sure he's probably gonna snap and probably crap at some point as well. What a game getting played right there.
Wow, that was a really impressive showing. I really think the most impressive part was DeMusliM there. I think he put on a show. Yep. Louis went 3 TC and was like, this is a slow boom map. Nothing really happens. We just gonna like easily macro to final vill count and have fun. And DeMusliM was just like, no, you're too late to Castle Age. I am going to make units and attack you. And feudal units taking out 2 TCs, maybe 15 vills died, a lot of man-at-arms with that early investment, so all that food savings that he had built up for, we thought he might even click a fast, cheeky imp, had to go into this man-at-arm dump, which didn't even defend him. So then he had to rebuild, reboom, do everything again, this time without as much natural food to go through because he didn't have access to his deer anymore. And wow, just a really good showing from DeMusliM. He really powered through, gave Chimps a good 2-1 finish to the series, which means they do qualify for our semifinals. Not qualify. What am I saying? They do move on to the semi. Let's always these formats, right? They move on to the semifinals. Fat Penguin though, back to the relegation match called the Decider match.
Yeah, I mean, but after witnessing that, an incredibly impressive performance there coming through from Fat Penguin. That was just, it was beautiful stuff. I mean, it was great to see them in that third game, or rather in that second game. In that second game, they came online incredibly. And didn't they just, it looked so, it looked like a dance. The way that they synergized so well together. It was beautiful stuff.